Hi guys, it's Christabel of ChristabellNails, and today I'm going to do something a little bit different. This is a Q&A video. I said I would do this when I hit 10,000 subscribers, so I'm a little bit late getting this up for you guys because I'm now at almost 14,000. But I just want to say thanks so much for tuning in. Those thumbs up are really appreciated, and every day when I get new subscribers I'm so appreciative, and it really makes all the work that goes into these videos worthwhile. So this is a little out of my comfort zone for me, doing a face instead of just the nails, but I'm going to do my best and answer the questions that were submitted specifically for this, along with some other questions that I get asked on a daily basis. When and why did you first get interested in nail art? So I was a nail biter. I used to bite my nails horribly, but I'd go through periods of time where I wasn't biting my nails. So when I was going through those periods of time, I would do French manicures. That was it for my extent of nail art. I loved the look. It was so clean and rich looking, and I just really enjoyed nice looking nails, but yet my nails were not always nice. When I started out on Instagram, I was following some fashion accounts, some friends, and some nail accounts, but I found myself following more and more nail accounts as time went on, and really wanted to try some of the designs I was seeing. So I started with some floral designs and just really tried it out. I certainly had zero skill when I started, but with the feedback and advice from the great nail art community out there, I was able to kind of develop my own style. And I tried stamping. I did not do very well. I tried water marbling. I did not do very well, but I did tend to gravitate to more of the freehand designs, and that's kind of where it all started for me. When and why did you start a YouTube channel? Well, really, for me, I was doing the nail art thing on Instagram and I was really enjoying it. I was getting to meet some really cool people and loved trying new things, but I was getting a lot of requests on how did you do this and how did you do that, and can you post a tutorial? I thought about doing a blog, I thought about doing YouTube, and I wasn't really sure I was ready for that. But what I did is I did a couple of sample videos and posted them to YouTube, and it started going really well, and I was enjoying doing it. It was kind of motivating me to try new things, so it kind of just took off. I still do intend on someday getting out there and starting a blog as well. Just need to figure out how to create that first. So I think you'll be seeing me in some other forums for sure. Where do I get my inspiration? Well, for me, nail art inspiration comes from everything pretty much around me. I'm always snapping pictures. You know, if I'm at work and someone's wearing a really pretty scarf, I'll make them take it off so I can get a picture of it. I'm constantly saving pictures of other nail art that I like, and fabrics are a great inspiration. I Google search pretty much everything. If there's a holiday coming up, I'll do a Google search for images, for fabrics, just different things that I find interesting. I like to try to keep my nail art unique. It's hard to do. There are so many talented nail folks out there posting videos and nail art, and I just try to take and put my own spin on things. I think it's really important, though, if you are getting inspiration from other nail artists, to say that. There's nothing wrong with saying, I was inspired by Tammy from Oh My Gosh Polish. She does the same. She has a huge nail account, and I think it's important to kind of recognize each other and embrace each other's talents. I love when people do that for me. There's no law out there, but you know what? It's a common courtesy to recognize each other, so I do that as well. My husband's great too. He'll say, oh, wouldn't that be a cool design? My son does the same thing. You spend enough time with me, that's what happens. You start giving me ideas, and you know, I'll be at work and I'll get a new email from someone who works down the hall saying, oh, wouldn't this be a cool nail design? And they'll send me a picture of pants somebody's wearing in the building or a scarf somebody has on. So really, inspiration is all around me. Is my job linked to nails? No. My job has nothing to do with nails whatsoever. It's simply a hobby, something that I have picked up and do on the side. What's my favorite brand of nail polish? I have so many polishes that I love. If I'm going to go to my local store and pick up some polish, I'm going to buy China Glaze or Maybelline Color Show or Sinful Colors. They're all affordable, great selection, lots to choose from, and great quality. I also really like OPI. OPI is a little bit more expensive, so I'm a little bit stingy when it comes to buying that. I will buy it, but I have to really love it before I'm going to spend the money. I am a little bit on the cheap side when it comes to spending money on myself. Some of my favorite like indie brands or brands that I would have to buy online and can't get in my local community. I love, love, love Color Gossip. You can find them online. They're an amazing nail polish company. They also give back, so select polishes in their collection are designated to a charity. So if you buy, one of their pink polishes, for example, the proceeds from that go to cancer research. Bonita is another polish I love. I used to be able to buy the mini bottles here at home. Haven't been able to find them lately, but you can certainly buy their polishes online. Love Bonita. And if you live in the States, you're lucky because you can buy those at Walgreens or Rite Aid, I think it is. So that's really cool. And some of the other indie brands I love, I absolutely love, love, love Picture Polish and Emily DeMolly. Oh, indie lacquers. I love indie lacquers. So many. I tend to stay away from polishes with the bigger pieces of glitter. My nails are really curved. I don't know if you can tell here, but I have a really strong curve to my nails, so I find with the bigger glitters they don't lay as flat, so I tend to stay away from those. Basically I'm listing every single polish I own because I love them all. There are some that I don't care for. I'm not going to list them. You certainly won't see me promoting something that I don't care for. How many nail polishes do I own? Well, if I tell you, you might tell my husband, so I'm not going to really say exactly how many I have, but I do have over 500 bottles. It continues to grow, but at the same time, I tend to throw out bottles too as I finish them off. What is my nail care routine? So this is something I get asked a lot to film a video on. I probably will never do an actual nail care video. First and foremost, I'm not a trained nail tech. What I'm going to share next is what works for me, not necessarily what's right for your nails. So take that as kind of your warning that I don't know what I'm talking about. It works for me. Number one, cuticle oil is key. I keep this beside my bed. This is Sweet Baby by Donna. I'll include a link below to pretty much everything I talk about in this video too. This is beside my bedside table. I put it on pretty much every night before going to bed. It smells so good. I rub it into my cuticles, and I think healthy cuticles is key to healthy nails, or at least that's what it seems to be for me. I push my cuticles back pretty much every night in the shower, just gently, and every couple of months I'll do an actual nail care treatment with Blue Cross that I picked up at my local Sally's and remove any dead cuticle skin that's on my nails. For the most part I have very little because I do apply cuticle oil and push my cuticles back daily. Another thing I do to take care of my nails is I'm constantly filing my nails. So every couple of nights I sit down when I'm watching TV, I file my nails. Which brings me to the next thing. Another reason why I'll never film a nail video is because usually when I'm doing my nail care, I'm in my PJs, hair in a bun, watching TV. But I use just a regular nail file and I file straight across. Always in one direction, and then I'll file the sides just kind of up either side just to keep them nice and straight. It's my preferred method for my nails. I know lots of people have different shaped nails, but when I file, it's just straight across in one direction. So cuticle oil, filing my nails regularly. I also buff my nails, but not every day, and not every time I file them. But I have one of these handy dandy multi-side files. I love it. My husband actually bought me my first one, and I am hooked on them. They're great for just kind of smoothing out your nails. Like I said, I don't do it every day. I don't want to thin my nails too much, but I do have a couple of nails that tend to be a little bit more ridgy, so my ring fingers and my thumbs tend to get a little ridgy, and I'll just smooth them out following through from step 1 all the way through to step 7. Or I also have a 4-sided one, so step 1 through 4. So that's pretty much it for my nail care routine. I'm far from habitual. I rarely do the same thing twice. About the only thing I do habitually is my cuticle oil. And I used to use pretty much whatever cuticle oil I had laying around, but now that I've tried this Sweet Baby, I am hooked. I probably will never use anything else again, so I'll be getting some more of this soon because I love it. And the smells are incredible. She has lots of different scents. This one is called Summer Carnival, which I love, and Pink Sugar. Oh, I love Pink Sugar. It smells so good. I'm always getting asked about what app I use when I create my 15-second videos on Instagram. I don't use an app. I film all of my videos the same way. I use my Sony Handycam, and I download those to my computer, and I use Adobe Premiere Pro to edit my videos. I even edit my 15-second videos in there, and then I email them to my phone so I can upload them to Instagram. The only thing I do use an app for when it comes to my videos on Instagram is once I email them to my phone, I import them to Pick, Play, Post, which is an app I purchased. And the reason I put them in that is just to get that square shape. I haven't quite figured out how to do that on Adobe on my computer. What app do I use for my watermark? So you'll see on my nail pictures I always have a little white watermark that goes around one or two of my cuticles with my Instagram name. And I do this simply because there was a period of time where people would take your pictures off of Instagram, claim them as their own. So I started watermarking my nail art, and I use an app called Type Drawing. And if you look through my videos here, there's a tutorial on how I use Type Drawing, as well. I'll include a link below to that tutorial for you. What nail art brush do I use? Well, I use pretty much the same nail art brush for absolutely everything I do, and this is, it's called Pure Color. It's gold, comes with a nice little cap, which I don't have on at the moment, and I got this from Stylish Nail Art Shop on Instagram. I will swear by this brush. I absolutely love it. This is my second one. I pretty much killed the first one. I tend to work only with nail polish. A lot of people use acrylic paints. I just prefer to work with polish. I am a polish addict, so it's my preferred method to work with. I did work a little bit with acrylic paint, but it just didn't do anything for me, and honestly I'd have nowhere to store it because I'd want every single color out there. So I bought this brush from Stylish Nail Art Shop. Actually, the first one I got I won in a contest, and then I went and bought another one. Because I'm using polish, I clean my brushes with pure acetone, which can be really hard on your brushes, but this brush has held up so well. I've been using this one for about a year. The one I had before that I used for about a year before it kind of conked out on me, and I'll be ordering some more again. This set, there's a set of 5, or you can buy them individually, but number 3 is my absolute favorite. I also have this one here, and that's kind of to show you what it looks like with the cap on it. So the cap comes off. It's a little bit shorter and a little bit thicker. This is the number 2 Pure Color Glamour brush. I rarely put my caps on because I'm worried I'll bend the bristles when I do. Some people have said these are harder to kind of figure out how to purchase, but you just go to Instagram, look up Stylish Nail Art Shop. She has her page locked down, I think, so you have to ask to follow. And then she includes her email address in her contact info. You just email her, tell her what you want. She'll send you an invoice. You pay her via PayPal, and she'll mail that out to you. And it comes so quick. I could not believe how quickly these brushes arrive. I also have these cheap brushes that I picked up at Walmart. You can tell they're in rough shape because I'm so rough on my brushes. This is one I use for cleanup. So again, this has been in and out of acetone, I can't tell you how many times, and it's held up really well. The bristles are starting to fray a little bit now. I've had this one for almost 2 years, but I just use it to clean up along the edges. I know a lot of people prefer the flat kind of makeup looking brush, but honestly I prefer this longer, thicker brush, and I find it cleans my cuticles really well. Leading into the next question, how do I take care of my brushes? I am probably the worst person to ask because I'm so rough with my stuff. You'll see there's polish all over the handle, and anyway, I do not have a care routine for my brushes. I clean them with pure acetone when I'm working. So when I'm doing a nail design, I put acetone in this little shot glass, and in between colors or in between applications of polish, I put my nail art brush. In here, rinse it off, rub it on paper towel, and that's pretty much the extent of my nail brush care. Once in a blue moon, I will apply some cuticle oil to my brush just to soften up the bristles, and sometimes when I'm done nail art, say I was using black polish, the black polish stays on the brush, and I don't clean it off until the next time I go to paint my nails, simply by dabbing it into some acetone. I don't know, it's not the greatest way to take care of your brushes, but with these brushes it has served me well. And honestly, I feel like keeping the polish on them almost protects the bristles from spreading and fraying because the polish hardens and keeps it in a point until I go to use it the next time. So, works for me. What is my favorite top coat? Well, I tend I tend to use only one top coat. I use Rika's Glossy Glam, and I get it in this refillable bottle, and you can tell I'm almost out. I love this stuff. I do use Sèche Vite from time to time. I find Sèche Vite does have shrinkage often around the edges, which drives me crazy. Not so bad if I'm only wearing a design for a day, which is a lot of the time for me. So Sèche Vite is fine then. Sèche Vite's great if I have a polish with bigger pieces of glitter because it smooths out so nicely. But for the most part, Glossy Glam by Rika is my #1 choice. I've heard amazing things about HK, and I'm going to try that one of these days when I have a few minutes to sit down and place some orders online. Everybody who uses it swears by it, so I do want to give that one a try as well. So that leads me into what base coat do I use. So for a base coat, if I'm painting my nails often, which is usually the case, I'll use this. So this is actually advertised as a top coat. It's called Yellow Stopper. I get it at Sally's, and it becomes a peelable base. So I put it on my nails, paint my nails like I normally would, and a day or two in, I can peel off the full design without damaging my nail. And the nice thing about that is I don't have to use acetone to dry out my skin. Often I'll actually peel it off when I'm in the shower, because when your nails are nice and wet, it peels off perfectly. It is not a great base coat to use if you want your design to last for a while, because usually after a day or two it starts to peel, which is why I like it. But I'm not going to use it if I want my nails to last for a long time. And sometimes if I'm doing multiple designs in a day, which yes I do, that base coat's perfect because I can just peel off the design, move on to the next one, and I'm not having to use a lot of acetone in between steps. The other base coats I use if I want my design to last longer is this Sèche base, and this is a Sèche Vite kind of base coat. It's called a Ridge Filler. My husband picked it up actually for me. I sent him to pick something up. He brought back the wrong stuff, brought back this, but I love it. And especially where my ring finger and thumb tend to get a little bit ridgy from time to time, it kind of smooths everything out. So I really like this one. So this is what I use when I want my designs to last longer. If you watch a lot of my tutorials, you'll hear me say, put some polish on a piece of tinfoil, and I get asked a lot of times why I do that. Well, basically, I'm putting the polish on tinfoil because I'm working with my thin art brush, and I don't want to be dipping that brush into my full bottle of polish, so I just put a dab of polish on a piece of tinfoil, and it works well. I don't always have tinfoil at hand, so what I use is just a little piece of notepaper, drop the polish on that, and then I turf it when I'm done. I prefer working with tinfoil as opposed to the paper because I find your polish drops don't dry as quickly when you have it on tinfoil as opposed to on paper, and on paper it bleeds into the paper, so I find you end up going through a little bit more polish that way. It's my favorite nail shape. My preferred nail shape is square. I love the look of stiletto and almond nails, but I find on my fingers, which are so long, that looks kind of silly, and I do prefer shorter nails as opposed to longer nails, but that's just personal preference. What's my least favorite nail shape? I would have to say duck nails. Not for me, or fan nails, I guess some people call them. You know what? If you like them, that's great. Rock them. I personally don't like them, and I can pretty much guarantee you'll never see them on me. Now, that being said, I have said I don't like things before. I used to despise negative space manis. Maybe it was because I had so many stained nails, but now I love them. So maybe someday I'll have duck nails, though I can't imagine that I will. What do I do when I break my nails? Usually I cry. I used to always repair my nails if I had a break with the tea bag repair, and I do have a tutorial for that. But really now, if I break my nails, I just file my nails down. I like shorter nails, so I'm not too worried when I have a nail break. I'm not a big fan of nails of different lengths, so I don't like when somebody breaks a nail and leaves the rest of their nails long and one short one. I try to keep mine as even as possible. How long does it take me to paint my nails? I get asked that question all the time. Really, it depends on the design. As well, I'm usually doing something when I'm painting my nails, so I almost always have my iPad, see right there? I almost always have a movie or a TV show on when I'm doing my nails, and I'm doing other things in between steps when it's drying, so I'm a hard one to ask that question because I've never really paid too much attention. An hour plus for a typical design. If I'm doing something really intricate, obviously it's going to take some more time. How often do I paint my nails, and do I paint my nails every day? Absolutely, I do not paint my nails every day. For a while there I was posting pictures every single day to Instagram, so I guess I could see how you would think that, but I was just doing multiple designs sometimes on the weekends when I have more time, and I was posting them throughout the week, so it looked like I was painting my nails daily. But as a matter of fact, half the time that I'm at work during the week, my nails are bare. Try to giving them a break because I paint them so much on the weekends when I'm filming tutorials for you guys. Do I paint both hands, and do I paint my thumbs? Yes, I paint both hands, and yes, I paint my thumbs. As a matter of fact, when I'm testing out a design, I almost always paint my thumb first because I have a little bit more space to play with, and then I do my design on my other 4 fingers. Often it will vary a little bit from what I've done on my thumb, but yeah, I do paint my thumbs. Lucy's Stash has an awesome tutorial on how to paint your dominant hand, so check that tutorial out. I'll try to include a link to that below as well for you. What kind of manicure would I recommend if you don't have a lot of time to paint your nails? Well, easiest thing is just paint a solid color on all of your nails. Done and done. However, if you want something a little bit fancier than just a solid color, try using a polish that has glitters or pieces in it or texture. That's another quick and easy way around doing some nail art. Nail tattoos or nail decals, you can get those from Nailed Kit or La Vida Belle. I'll include some links below. That's another quick solution. And the other option that you would have is to paint all of your nails plain except for one accent finger and do some nail art on just one finger, and that's a quick way around it as well. So really there's endless options for if you're in a hurry, and maybe I'll do a tutorial for that one of these days, nail designs for the woman on the go or something like that. Do I work from my home or salon? Well, as I mentioned before, I don't work in the nail industry, so I definitely do not work from home. I do have this lovely little nail space that I've created in a spare room at my home, but that's simply for doing my own nails and occasionally some friends or family. What kind of equipment do I use to help my nails dry quicker? I don't really, I just wait it out, but I do have this cute little guy. He's got an on button here. So he just blows air, and so sometimes I have used him. I don't really, for the most part. He just sits on my desk and looks cute. I have in the past dipped my nails into cold water. That's supposed to help as well. I have found that I tend to get bubbles, but maybe I haven't allowed it to dry enough before putting it into the water. That's an option, but for the most part I just wait it out. Key is, however, a really good quick dry top coat, because you can put that over your nails and it cures, and it's really going to protect your design. So a good top coat is going to help you speed up the process, and not applying your polish too thick. Nice thin coats of polish is going to be a lot easier to work with and dry quicker. So that's it for the questions that I have right now. I do really appreciate the feedback you guys leave, and when you leave comments or questions for me, I will try to get to all of those. Thanks so much for subscribing. You guys are the reason why I do this, so I truly appreciate the subscribers and the loyal followers who are always checking out my videos and leaving me notes. Thumbs up, as I said, are always appreciated, and new subscribers are always welcome. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.